So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Mercury Venus conjunction in the fifth house of your birth horoscope. As in, what happens when these two planets are in the fifth house. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular conjunction, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details, for that, check out the links here, KRSchannel.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where you will find my new course, Nandi Nadi course, which is the easiest form of astrology you'll ever learn, ever. And these are the lessons that are always going to be there, whether you get your certificate or not. It'll be there because many of you had a question, oh, can I still view the lessons even after I get it? Yes, they'll be in your dashboard, and just go into the video lessons part. It'll be there as long as you are, enrolled. So, Mercury, Venus, okay. So they're friends. This is also known as Lakshmi Narayan Yoga, meaning the yuti, the conjunction of Vishnu and Lakshmi coming together. They're both like husband and wife. The very first couple to exist in this multiverse. This is the universe. Although we use the word consort, like Lakshmi is the consort of Vishnu. It's kind of like another part of something or someone. So what is fifth house? Fifth house is education, children, intelligence, Purva Punya Bhava. Okay. And it's many things, speculation, So the very first thing you will see is that when these two planets are conjunct in the fifth house, such person is extremely creative, born with natural creative talents, born with natural intelligence for looking at things in a creative way. Their intelligence operates in the realm of creativity. So even if, let's say, this person is a scientist, this person is a mathematician, this person is a lawyer, for them, it's like immediately, instantly, their intelligence works. So when there's a problem or issue comes in, that creative mind just takes over. That's the very first thing. If they don't use their creative side, if they reject it, like, no, I'm just going to be very simple and I'm not going to use my creativity. Well, in that case, money doesn't come. Because what is Venus? Venus is not just your spouse or wife. It's not just beauty. It's money, actual money, paper currency, cryptocurrency, digital currency, whatever it is that gets you what you need right now. Okay, so for example, I need a new hard drive. Well, I cannot use my abundance of Jupiter, which is subjective. It could be anything. I could have the abundance of gurus and land, but I cannot take a piece of land and say, give me a hard drive. Here's a little 1/10 of my land. No one's going to do that. So you need that money. That's what Venus is. So this is why any individual who does not use creativity, artistry into their career, money is not going to be flourishing. And if that's not your goal, then great. Doesn't matter. You'll be fine. But if you do want to make the money, you have to use your creative talents, creativity. Because especially when the time comes for you to make money, these skills are not going to be needed. So if you're, let's say, failing in your creative pursuits, that's okay. Perhaps your cycle of progression of Jupiter and Saturn is not there to give you what you need right now. On the other hand, these people make hopeless romantic. They need to have that movie-like romance, that cinematic romance in their life for them to feel the love. Like, for example, certain people, for them, that movie-like cinematic romance becomes very cliche. It becomes like, it's just a half piece, I need to be something more real. But for these people, that fantasy world of cinema, that happy ending, is something that they're looking for. And then, like I said, don't mistake Venus for all these other things. It's also money, but also what is Venus? Venus is tantric siddhis. It is actual siddhis, actual power. Like, now, of course, siddhis doesn't mean that somebody is enlightened or somebody is, God realized. No, siddhis can be achieved easily. If somebody gives you a certain mantra, tantric mantra, and say, do this mantra at this time, put a diya in front of you, and then have a mirror, and look at the diya in the mirror and say this mantra, yeah, you will attain some siddhis. You can even, like, for example, mind readers, like some astrologers don't even need astrology, and they don't even need to, they pretend like they're looking at a chart, but they see your face and they're seeing the entire script. This person just got divorced. This person's father died before they were born. And they'll look at a chart and they'll say something. So, Venus is at these. Fifth house is intelligence, fifth house is knowledge. So, education and intelligence is going to be somehow, at one point in this person's life, would be connected with attaining siddhis. Tantric knowledge, hidden occultic knowledge. Occult is strongly connected with Venus because Venus was born in Jyeshtha Nakshatra, in Scorpio. If you ever read the Graha Purana, especially I think it's the second edition of Shukra, you will realize that more than any planet that is out there, even Jupiter is going to have to take a step back to the intelligence of Venus. These people can articulate any complicated matter through their creativity. And because fifth house is Purva Punya, past life deeds, obviously it shows that a person has done some great past life deeds to attain this conjunction, which will eventually bring them wealth, fortune through birth of children and marriage. And as far as education is concerned, creative education becomes very good. Also, education related to money, sociology, and including not accounting, but financial management becomes great. Now, if Jupiter is involved in this, then definitely one can even get a medical education, because then Jupiter-Venus conjunction will create Jiva Sanjeevani Yoga, because Jupiter is life, Jiva. Venus is Sanjeevani mantra, right? Bringing something dead to life. So those things will become active. And especially with Venus here, now again, depends upon if Venus is in a even sign or odd sign. This is one of the simplest thing of Nadi also. Odd sign, even sign, if any planet is looking at it, so we can't really say. But usually with this conjunction, if this native has a girl born in the home, that girl becomes Lakshmi square, 10 squared. It brings in huge abundance. Then the other thing is, such people need to, but there's a big reason behind it, which can or cannot be discussed out in social media like this. Again, it's just, if I was teaching this in person like I did in a conference, I would say a lot of things, so, but long-term investments are much, much better for them than becoming like a day trader with this. Unless, of course, this particular conjunction is occurring in sign, and especially if Jupiter is looking at it, then you can go into it. Then especially because fifth house is performance, they'll have great flair for performing arts. They become natural at performing arts. And especially all the fulfillment of desires. within this person's life will happen through either marriage or birth of a child. Now, can they be achieved without it? Of course. Of course, they can be. But it's just that, it's like you can achieve it with or without. It's just that marriage and birth of children just becomes that catalyst or that indication. Like, for example, in somebody's chart, we can see that their maternal aunt or uncle will be very wealthy. But that's not like because you were born, only then they gained wealth. No, because they were supposed to get it, your chart just indicates that. And that's another thing. I naturally just gave that prediction to. One of your, especially if it's an even sign, maternal aunt. If it's a odd sign, maternal uncle. They will find great, huge wealth with your birth. And that depends on how many siblings, like, for example, your mother has 6 siblings. Most definitely one of them is going to be, especially with even sign, one of the sisters are going to do very well wealth-wise. And then you can figure out if it's the youngest sister or the eldest sister, depending upon who's behind who. Is Venus behind Mercury or Mercury behind Venus? These are the small little tricks of Nadi. And then with Venus in the 5th house, we also see that at one point this person can take on big loans, big debts. Big debts can happen. Now, usually, big debts, one can have a huge credit card debt. But on the other hand, what is a big debt? A mortgage. Mortgage is one of the most prominent debt for this conjunction. Why? Mercury represents land in Nadi. And Venus represents a home, the actual structure of the home. And originally, Mercury rules the 6th house of debt. Venus rules the 6th house of money. They are combined in the 5th, which is second from the 4th. So gain of property happens through debt. Simple. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Venus, Mercury in the 5th house of your birth chart. And as always, if you do not know, if you have this particular conjunction, all the astrological alignments, check out the links here, including my academy, Maga Vedic Astrology Academy, where my Nandi Nadi course is right now running. Thank you.